Fucking boo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Fucking Boo Bombing Stories with Big Irish Jay Hollingsworth. I'm Big Irish Jay, and my guest is on here to corroborate, to verify my bombing story. Today, this will forever be known as the San Diego bombing. So let's just get into it. So this happened how long? Actually, I can don't say anything, Kane. I have it right here. This was back. Well, now it says 2 days ago. When was this? This was about 2 months ago or a month ago.
Let's see, what are we in April?
Yeah.
So I think probably March. I think it was March.
March. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, probably. Yeah, it must have been before my St. Patty's Day and all that shit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was before St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Kane has a show in San Diego called, what's it called?
Going Dutch.
Going Dutch, yeah, where it's like they take questions from the audience in like a bucket, and it's a dating show or dating topics, and they have a bunch of comics on the show, and they will tell dating stories, and then they'll pull questions out of the bucket and answer questions that are presented by the audience. So Kane opens it up with who was it that you were co-hosting with?
His name is Jarwan. Really funny dude. Great guy.
Jarwan. Yes. And so they go up, do great, and there's maybe 4 or 5 comics on the lineup. I'm closing it out, and every one of those comics crushes, does great. Dave Neal, our buddy Dave Neal, was on it. Everybody does great. Their jokes are hitting. They're pulling questions out, and those are going great. Everything's going great.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm about to go up, and I ask Kane if I should tell my horrible story, the Hail Mary dating story, which it's an awful. I'm not.
It's almost like it's not even a story. It's more of like what you would find in a handbook for douchebags. Yeah.
So this, I'm not even gonna get it. It's something I did years ago, back when I was a young boy and wasn't mature and blah blah blah. But it's horrible. Anyways, I said to Kane, I was like, should I open with the Hail Mary story? And I think you were just kind of like, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Whatever you're feeling. Do you feel it? Is it flowing through you? Because this show is literally it's
on
ours,
fire.
It's ours to lose at this point.
It's great. Yeah, it's been a great show. So I go up, and before I even say anything, I tell the audience, I'm like, hey, so little inside ball, comics usually they want to get, they're open with something likable, get you on their side, and then maybe after that they'll get to the more maybe touchy stuff. I'm going to go the opposite. I say that at the beginning, and it goes awful. And let me also tell you the demographic is majority, I would say it was probably 80%, 80 to 85 girls, like 21 to 25. Mm-hmm. Would you say?
Yeah. Oh yeah. At least like probably anywhere. The oldest is probably mid 30s.
Yeah. And they hated me. So I tell this Hail Mary story. Nothing gets nothing. And I was like, and immediately the fucking sweat starting. It's just bing, 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 fucking just sweating my ass off. And then I think I'm like, okay, well, it's in my head, I'm like, dating stories, let me tell some online dating stories. So I tell a story about going out with a little person, true story. There's one girl in the front that her and her table, I think, like that story. I mean, they're laughing, but it's not enough to cover the whole room.
No, it's not.
So then I do that, and that gets a smattering of nothing. And so then I'm like, let's go to the bucket. And And I pulled the bucket, and I don't even remember the question, but it was like, there's nothing that I something about sliding into DMs, I think. And I pretty much was just like, well, if she likes you, it's going to be fine. If she doesn't like you, then she's going to think you're a creep, whatever. And then I'm like, I'm going to end on my going out with a trans woman joke. So I do that, and that doesn't even, not even that little table, nothing. It fucking gets nothing,
dude.
And
my God.
Yeah, it was. This is probably the best bomb I've had in, God, I'd say probably 10 years. It was a great bomb. It was.
Yeah, dude. So like, there's a screenwriting tool that they teach screenwriters called the save the cat moment for your lead, where it comes from the Superman movie where Christopher Reeves literally saves a cat from a tree and gives it to a little girl. So it's to endear the audience to the character. So then throughout the rest of the movie, if he does something fucked up, we do remember him saving the cat.
Jay I killed the cat at the beginning.
He stomped the kitten's head with his boot as hard as he could, and then every other story comes off so unlikable. It's insane how because like, here's the thing about Jay too, that if you guys, I mean, if you're listening to the show, you kind of already know there's a charm to there's something endearing about his viciousness. He's mean as shit. He says fucked up things sometimes, but there's just this jovial, loving smile on his face, which just for some reason to this PB audience could not translate. You were a full villain.
People were definitely thinking, this straight cis white male. Yeah.
We're a fucking villain, dude. Even Joaquin Phoenix's Joker would have had a better set than you.
Yeah. So I bombed that whole set. It was just a straight bomb. I can't be like, the audience. There's not. I take it all on me. So now I'm done with the set, and people are leaving. And I'll get to the main thing, Kane, here in a sec. But so I'm sitting there, and some of the comic, like, you and Josh are like giving it to me, which I deserve 100%.
Yeah, of course.
And then there was like some other comics that I didn't really know that they were like, I mean, there was some people in the back, and I go, no. I go, nah, I don't want that. Let me just sit in it. I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna just sit in this bomb. Go ahead, just give it all to me, guys. It's fine. It's deserved.
Yep.
Right around that time, as I'm sitting there taking it from the comics, which I deserved, I get a DM from somebody that was at the show. And let me also preface this. When I tell the story on stage, as I'm about to tell the story of going out with this trans woman, I say at the beginning of it, I go, this was a crazy story. I literally thought I was going to die in this story. And this person that DM'd me took from that me saying, I thought I was going to die because, look at Sandy J's in here. What's up, Sandy? Talking about my bombing story. This lady took me saying I thought I was going to die on this date, and she let it rattle in her head and took that as me saying, I went out with a trans woman, and this trans woman almost killed me because she was trans. It was about her being trans, which is not. This chick was fucking nuts.
It was about this person and their psychosis. Yeah, and it had nothing to do with their sexuality.
Right. So she DMs me that, and I'm like, great. Just reading that opening of her saying, how dare you say this, you thought you were going to die because she was trans, and that's transphobic. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. And she said also that she had left in the middle of that story, so she didn't even hear the at the end where I'm like the hero. No, she didn't hear the end of it, and she was like, I'm so disgusted. You should pay me back for my tickets and our Uber and all this other horseshit, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, okay, fucking cuckoo. But then she DMs Kane. She DMs the Going Dutch account. She DMs or she messages the bar. And then she goes on Google and writes a review on Google Review.
Yep.
Do you want to chime in anything here at this point? I'm going to get to the review and everything, but about when you got the DM or anything.
Well, when you got the DM, that made sense.
Yeah.
Like we were like, oh, sure, absolutely. She wants her time and her money back from you specifically because you wasted it because you were the sole person on the show that made them leave. That you walked that one table. Everyone else, to their credit,
sat through
your 15 minutes. They endured you, which then, kudos to them. And then they left, and then they just chalked it up to like, okay, whatever, it happens, because it didn't hurt the next show. Like the same people came out, whatever. That when she hit up the PB Backyard thing, PB Backyard is my co-producers. When she hit up their Instagram, I was like, we we might have a snowball situation happening.
Yeah.
But it really is only one voice. Like she sat there with one table, and then her next thing was hitting up the Going Dutch, then hitting up me personally. And in there, it's the same rhetoric. But the thing that I found pretty astonishing, because not astonishing, but it makes sense for a person like this, where she said she wants that we should all be held responsible for not creating a safe space for the queer community, when there were several comics on my show that identify as queer, gay.
They're
gay. But yeah, they're gay, and they came up and they told their perspective. Like, at my show is very inclusive.
Yeah.
And to say that it wasn't,
unless you're a straight cis white middle-aged man.
Exactly. But you're just like, it's like, did you forget some of the people that were on the show talking about their experience as a gay person?
That's exactly, something goes into her eardrums and rattles in her brain and fucking mixes in her own emotional shit and all this other shit, and then it regurgitates out as how she interpreted it.
Right.
It's I remember there's certain things I don't want to say because I don't want anybody getting in trouble for defending me, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna leave one thing out. I was just gonna I'm not even gonna bring it up. But anyway, so do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No, you can text me later or something.
Okay. Basically it has to do with the response of the owner and all that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah. So she writes a Google review, and I'm gonna show it here and read it. Let's see. Is it present? Yes. So this fucking can you see this?
I can.
Okay, so she wrote, let me share this out here a little bit. Big Irish Jay at tonight's 1 star she gives 1 star review. Big Irish Jay at tonight's comedy show performed a 10-minute quote joke, end quote, regarding a trans individual where the punchline was their identity. Wasn't, but that's okay. Not funny, crosses a line, not a queer friendly establishment.
Not
the
true.
Trans community deserves better. And Backyard replied to him, so or to this person, whatever their pronouns are. So yeah, but Sandy said with his joke, Jay was creating a safe space for people who have been duped. Yeah. Okay. So that was her Google review. Her name is Jessica. So I did my own Google review of PB Backyard. I said, great establishment, great comedy, great food, great service. There was one audience member named Jessica that didn't understand comedy and ruined the experience. Would not recommend Jessica, but this establishment is great. Friendly and welcoming to all. Can't recommend enough. 5 stars. So that was my Google review of Jessica that I happened to put on PB Backyard's thing. So,
dude, what's crazy about that too is, like, there's some people out there I don't like. There's some establishments out there I didn't have a good time with. But the amount of work that goes into finding all of these, bro, sometimes I love doing movie reviews of a movie, and sometimes I forget, and then sometimes I just won't do it because I'm like, oh, I don't want to find the poster and then write. I don't feel like writing it. This lady was so incensed that she had to do all of this at the. If it's one thing to hit all of us up, but to Yelp review, you got to create an account. It's a fucking ordeal,
I mean,
bro.
that's a lot of passion. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm glad it could affect her that much.
Yeah,
I'm glad
really.
she lets me control her emotions that much.
Exactly, dude, exactly.
So I always say on these, like when I'm interviewing somebody else about their bomb, I always say like, what would you have done different, or what did you learn from it? So what would I have done different?
What I would have done differently is not.
Well, this isn't about what you would have done different.
Oh, I thought you were asking me.
No, it's okay. I stepped on your punchline. You wouldn't have booked me. I get it. Yeah, that would have been what I would have done different. I wouldn't have taken the gig. Definitely don't open with the most unlikable dating story you could probably tell. Opening with that Hail Mary,
dude. You know what I'm just realizing too is like in some of your act, dude, most of the time from when we do the road together, you open your show by saying, I feel like I should apologize. I haven't done anything, but as a cis white male, I feel like we keep fucking up. Like you start the show by saying that. And then you even have another joke, which is probably, I love this like setup where it's like, I went to all black school. I lived in an all black town, blah, 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 whatever white people have to say before they say something about black people. It's like these things that might come off like if someone's trying to hear something fucked up, they're going to hear it fucked up. But you know what I mean? But you like come at it from a place of like, hey man, I don't know. This is just my thought process. I don't want to hurt anybody.
And then the final punchline of that bit where, unless it's a bunch of blacks, that thing where people like I remember I think I was with Kev. We were doing these black churches, and the first time I was doing one of the black churches with him, he that's his favorite joke of mine. He loves that joke, the blacks. And so Kev was like, hey, open with the blacks bit. And I'm like, can I get my sea legs in these churches before you have me open with this race bit?
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was first doing that bit, it would always get to that, and I'd be like, oh, let's hope it goes well. But then you have enough confidence in it where you're just like, no, I know it's gonna be fine. But so what would I have done different? Definitely not open with the Hail Mary story. I probably would have done much more self-deprecating stuff, because all the stories I have are like talking about how other people were lying or fucking up, Sandy says Kev. That's what I would have done different as far as like the material I would have done. And and did I learn anything from it? I mean, I kind of knew, looking at the audience, maybe that's what I would learn, is don't go in prejudging the audience. Because going up there, I was like, they're going to hate me. I know they're going to hate me.
Yeah.
And instead of doing that, just be like, even if they be like, well, fuck it. I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. But I would say the biggest thing is change on the opening, that Hail Mary, or just never tell that again.
Well, like, well, now too, the show itself has changed. So the next time you're on it, you won't be alone on the stage anymore. You're coming back.
Oh,
but
God.
this time you won't rely on your material. You'll be having a conversation with me on stage with the bowl. I had to pull out the bowl, and this is the bowl from the previous show where we have the dated advice stuff.
Just read one of them, like one of the, as an example. So when I was on stage looking for a lifeline, I was like, oh, let me grab a question.
And So let me dig deep.
Just grab one. Don't even look at what. Just read it.
How do you explain to your friends that they keep picking bad men that will obviously hurt them? Well, you can't answer that.
I mean, I could probably talk to your girlfriend.
Nice.
Boom.
Got me, bro. But that's one.
Yeah. So I mean, that's an example of it. So where Jessica, wherever you're at out there, hey, keep supporting. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep getting the word out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my that's the best bomb I've had in a while.
Long time. I don't think I've seen you bomb like that. I don't in a long time.
Yeah,
and we've done some pretty empty rooms. When we went to Dallas, that late show at the Comedy Arena in Dallas, Texas.
Oh yeah.
We had
Sandy was saying Jay cares about our feelings too much as an audience. I don't know of anything you should change with that joke. Thanks, Sandy. Appreciate
Sandy,
that.
that's so sweet. Yeah, we've played to some pretty empty rooms. We've played to we've played to some people that like didn't have any energy, and we had to find our own fun.
And we had fun.
And we had a great time. Like I think they can also feel that's the other part of changing the dynamic of Going Dutch now, is that the audience has seen stand up, and when you get into a room with people that are all friends, like especially people who like you and me who've been friends for such a long time, like people love hearing us fuck with you and heckle each other. And so yeah, I mean with it, so it's crazy to go, man, we did some pretty small rooms where we've performed for some audiences with absolutely no energy, and we still ended up fucking sucking it out of them and having a good time.
Yeah.
And this is the first time in a while.
Wow. Dude. Only
Pretty
sucking
crazy.
going on was me on stage. Oh God, fucking brutal. All right. First of all, thanks, Sandy, for the back. Sandy's got my back.
Yeah,
I love
Sandy.
What do you just plug your shit real quick, Kane?
Go to Kane. You can follow me at Kane Holloway on Instagram and TikTok, and then if you want to follow the Going Dutch page, Going Dutch Comedy on Instagram as well. KaneHolloway.com for show dates. I'm going to be at. When does this come out?
This will actually tomorrow. This will come out.
Oh, cool. So come out to the 4:30 show at Tacoma Comedy Club. I'll be with Mal Hall and my good friend Rui Montilla at Tacoma Comedy Club. And then in Portland, we'll be at the Helium. The Helium Comedy Club in Portland, Oregon.
Sandy J said after experiencing Jay's most recent Phoenix shows, which was like, this is just not too long ago, within last month, I only want to hear sets where the energy is super low. He killed it being on the edge. Yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, I love Sandy because like Sandy's been to a bunch of my shows, and like all the old stuff, she knows all the jokes of the old stuff. But it's for you'll know this as a comic, as you're on stage and seeing one of your friends or somebody in the audience that as you're doing whatever, maybe it's edgy or like it could go either way, and just seeing your friend just going like, geez. Yeah. That's my favorite is seeing Sandy like just shaking her head, like laughing, but also just like, that's wrong, Jay, or that's fucked up. All right, let me my plugs. Let's see. This weekend I will be at Westgate headlining the Comedy Cabaret here at the Westgate, formerly the International, where Elvis was at. So I'll try and bring some of that Elvis energy. I'll show up in a sequin jumpsuit. Next weekend I will be headlining the Grand Comedy Club in Escondido, California.
Oh my.
And after that, in May 19th and 20th, I'll be in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You can go to bigirishj.com for tickets, and you'll. I don't know if you remember how we end this. You'll like this, Kane. Until next time, bon voyage.
Fucking boo.